What does one Republican lawmaker in the movie Aliens have in common? Well, both use the idea of people being hosts to unwanted babies. Now, Raw Story is reporting that Oklahoma State Representative Justin Humphrey had recently suggested that women who choose to have an abortion were, quote, irresponsible and should be treated as a host for the fetuses that they're carrying. Speaking to The Intercept last week, Humphrey defended a bill that he is sponsoring that would force women to obtain the permission of the father before having an abortion. So basically, under his bill, women would actually have to get permission to have an abortion. So what's next? Asking permission to, I don't know, go out at night or drive? We know where this goes. Once you start taking away the ability for women to have autonomy over their own reproductive systems and their own bodies, well, they start coming for the other rights too. And look, it's not like they haven't tried coming for those other rights, or at least talked about it. I mean, for example, Ann Coulter, she laments all the time about women shouldn't have the right to vote. We shouldn't have the right to vote. I'm a woman, and I can say that because, women voting, terrible idea. Yeah, that's just one example. And then, of course, there are many others. Phyllis Schlafly, for example, another one. Now, Humphrey also said that he originally wanted this bill to force fathers to pay child support. Oh, well, at least there's something in there. Oh, but of course, that language was later removed to only focus on the rights of the man. Of course, because, us men, we are such an embattled minority. I mean, we have absolutely no power, absolutely no influence. I mean, I can't count how many bills have been put on the table and passed that will tell me what to do with my reproductive organs. Oh, wait. Yes, I can. 0. At least none that were actually intended to do this. Now, there were some that were actually put on the table to show the hypocrisy of basically groups of old dudes making decisions for women using the power of big government. Now, he said, I believe the breakdown in our society is that we've excluded the man out of all these types of decisions. Well, again, that's probably because it's not 100% our decision. Now, look, I get it. It gets a little complicated when you talk about whether you're in a relationship or a marriage. In that situation, I think it would be nice to actually have a conversation and talk about it. And in those cases, I do believe, in a personal level, that the father has something to say. But however, this goes beyond it. This bill actually puts the power of government into their hands. And I think that this is a personal and private conversation that should happen in between couples in the home. Now, that's not the bad part of this legislation. It's actually worse. The horrendous part is that it would actually give rapists the right to deny permission for a woman that they violated and impregnated to get an abortion. Or, for example, the person who molested their daughter or stepdaughter or whatever, well, they would require permission from the molester. You've got to be kidding me. But, of course, Humphrey argues that pregnant women lose their rights to make a decision about their bodies as soon as they become pregnant. Quote, I understand that they feel like that is their body. I feel like it is a separate, what I call them is you're a host. And when you enter into a relationship, you're going to be that host. And so, if you know that, then take all the precautions and don't get pregnant. No, wait a minute. That is absolute garbage. Look. So, no, you're a host and you already know that you're supposed to be the host for that baby. No, nobody goes into a relationship saying, I'm going to be a host. I can't wait to be that baby's host. No, this is ridiculous. And besides, wouldn't that be a good argument for sex education and easily available contraception? However, I'm assuming that this guy hates Planned Parenthood. Texas Republican most likely hates Planned Parenthood, which most of what they do is, hey, contraception. Imagine that. But of course, 3% of the stuff they do is abortion, so got to get rid of them. Gone. See you, Planned Parenthood. So now this guy continues, quote, so that's where I'm at. I'm like, hey, your body is your body and be responsible with it. That's actually something that I do agree with. Yeah, it would be nice if people were responsible. Sometimes they're not. But in the vast majority of cases of abortion, women just don't go out and get abortions willy-nilly. It's actually a really difficult decision that takes a lot of time. And look, the later you are along, the more difficult of a decision as it is. For example, like, they always make a big deal about late-term abortions, right? These late-term abortions, sorry. And these late-term abortions, they are so, I mean, they happen so all the time. No, they're actually incredibly rare. And they often happen in times where the fetus is either dying, dead, or endangering the mother. So, or giant, huge abnormalities and things like that. So, again, they're wrong about this. Now, he says, but after you're irresponsible, then don't claim, well, I can just go and do this with another body when you're the host and you invited that in. Again, if you're a rape victim, you didn't invite that in. See, that's the definition of rape. Unwanted, unwelcome, uninvited. You didn't invite that into your life. But look, again, with all these pro-life people, it's about the fetus here. Or it's not about the fetus, it's about control. And women, look, to them, are nothing but hosts for that fetus if she accidentally gets pregnant. And it's almost as if the entire worth of a woman is basically her ability to give birth, and that all the other considerations should be thrown out the window in pursuit of that one thing. I don't agree with that. I think it's all about trying to control the sex lives of women and trying to punish them for actually having sex outside of marriage. And then when they get pregnant, well, calling them irresponsible for doing what right now is a protective right were their own bodies. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.